random date I put in there.
Yeah. Perfect. So, item 3, minutes approval, meeting of 8/4/2025.
I move to approve the minutes of the select board meeting of 8/4/2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 4, select board pay orders.
I move to approve the pay orders for payroll and accounts payable.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 5 is announcements and correspondence.
So all 5 of the projects we submitted to VCDP for CDBG-DR funding, that's Community Development Block Grant, Disaster Recovery, were green-lighted for the full application process. So I have a meeting with Mariah North and Tom and Kristen Gadbois about applying for a Ready Grant. They assist rural towns our size with grant writing services because the full application is due September 30th, so not a lot of time. I'm also going to be talking with Chris Campney from Wyndham Regional Commission about grant management because that's the other side of it. Should we get accepted for the funding? So that's all good news. Also, we're cooking. And then the Ally had a liquor license, FYI, Highway Beverage LLC received special event permit for events on 8/30 and 8/31. And correspondence included in the board's, what's that?
Where was that one? Highway, what was the name?
It's Highway Beverage LLC. Don't know.
Never heard of it.
It's event permit, so I mean,
Oh, it
from
might
out of
not
town.
be local. Right,
Yeah.
right.
I didn't get the details on where the event was either, so. No. And then there's a town building symposium on Thursday, August 28th, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Wardsboro Town Hall. I actually signed up for it, but I can't go. So if anybody here wants to jump on that, and I think Meg can talk about it too. And the information registration is in the packet, and that's all I've got.
That's good, thank you. Item 6, visitors and concerned citizens. 6A is Meg Staloff.
Hello. Would I get back here? Do you want me to come around?
Yeah, whatever you'd like.
Well, I'm over here. I can stand up so I can see it. So I'm here to talk about a couple of programs. So this is in fact our postcard we just sent out to towns. It talks about the current and aspiring leader training that we're doing. So I'm Meg Staloff. I work for Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation. I run a program called the Southern Vermont Economy Project. I see you guys on occasion coming up here, but we do capacity building for rural communities. So that's helping local leaders who are currently on select boards or any town commissions really by things like our local leaders network, where we're going to, municipal leaders network, I should say, where we're going to have events that are really topical. So actually the one we're having is about town buildings and managing town buildings. So like you guys, maybe we'll have you come back another time as being the poster children for a renovation of your space, but just really dealing with all the buildings that towns own. It's really a thing we don't really think about how many buildings you own. And then when you start cutting it up, it's a huge portion of a lot of towns' budgets. So we're just going to get together and talk about how people are managing that, what resources are available. So that's the kind of thing we do. We also are doing training for aspiring leaders, so people who are looking to get more involved in their town, and that's the So Vermont Get On Board program. So that's a program we did 2 years ago, and we're going to try and run it every 2 years now. We get people together and just really learn about how towns work. So how do the nonprofit organizations, volunteer town government, and other ways that people can get involved in the community work together. So we talk about community-led projects. So in some communities, there might be a community-owned general store, and it's a community project, it's not necessarily attached to the municipality, but all these things work together in Vermont. So we really take people through every step of that. So what does it look like to be involved in just helping revitalize your community as a volunteer? and what are the different roles that you could take in the community. So we do that over 4 weeks, and we would love to have somebody from most of our towns, so people from Londonderry, more than welcome. In some cases, we've had towns help support someone to attend from their town. We charge a small amount. It's a $200 fee for the 4 classes. We do have scholarships available, and then we also encourage towns who might have a little bit of funding available to support, $100 or $50 or the whole $200 tuition to support somebody if there's somebody from the community that could use that help to attend. So it's a great program. I was involved actually last time around, I see you guys have the flyer there in your handout. So it just goes through the 4 courses. We start out by talking about, how communities work and community projects. Then we have a session where we really drill into town government and everything you ever wanted to know about local government, but we're afraid to ask. Kind of really drilling into what are the roles and what does it mean and how do people become involved in town government. And then we have a course, we'll have 1 week where we'll talk about nonprofit organizations because they play a big role in community revitalization and just supporting communities. And then the last session, we really are going to talk about having community conversations. How do you, have civil discourse if you're, as community members, and maybe you're on different sides of an issue, but you're still going to run into each other at the grocery store. So we really bring that up and how to sort of encourage communities to have really good conversations. And then we help people at the end set a goal for themselves. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to join your planning commission? Do you want to get on the library board? Do you want to start a community project? And then we help them sort of figure out what would be the next step that you would need to take to have that happen. And then we sort of help support them and connect them to people in their community to make that happen. So that's the program. That starts, what are my dates? September 20th, and then there's 4 sessions. So it's September 20th, we'll be down in Newfane at the Williamsville Hall. October 4th, we'll be over in Manchester. Then on October 25th, we meet in Wilmington. And then on November 8th, we're going to meet over in Saxton's River. So most of them actually, Londonderry is pretty oddly central to, the longest drive would probably be the kick down to Wilmington. But we also try and, there's a full day for each session, but we try and encourage people to, check out the town they're visiting and see what's around and, kind of help them to explore the region a little bit. So we tried to pick, nice spots where people would enjoy going, and we do provide meals for each session, which is sort of actually what the tuition really supports because people are there all day. So we also try and really use local purveyors for every time to sort of help people understand what's happening and support local businesses. So that's the program. We'd love to have someone from Londonderry come. So if there's anyone that anyone here or anyone on the select board, if you know people that are looking to get more involved in, volunteering, send them our way. I can drop some flyers on the out there. It has a QR code on it. We're also a website if you don't do QR codes. If you have any questions, we loved doing it last time. I think it was really a great group of people, and I think what people discover when part of the program is sort of meeting other people who are interested in volunteering, and so it becomes a nice kind of supportive group.
Sounds great, I like it.
Yeah, great. Any questions? And also we do have on the 28th, which is 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Is that next week? I guess that's next week. I just came back from vacation, so I have no idea where I'm at.
Is it next week?
Next week. That is next week. So next Thursday down in Wardsboro from 8:30 to 12, we'll be having the town building symposium. So if anyone would like to come, sorry, I can't make it, but it's a big day for ours.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Sending off my kid to Bennington College.
So it's like a milestone.
Yeah.
So if anyone, on the select board, or also that does extend to other, any other staff or planning commission, any other, boards or commissions that you have, people are welcome. We're going to talk about kind of resources for kind of doing long-term budgeting and planning, capital planning. We're going to talk about, repurposing buildings, sort of what the town's role might be in that. If it's a municipal building or like a school building that's being repurposed for a different use. And we'll also talk about energy upgrades in kind of post-MERP, Municipal Energy Resilience Program, how you can move projects forward. So we have a lot of people coming who can help support towns.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other visitors or concerned citizens? See no hands. Move on to item 7, town officials business. 7A, beautification committee. A1, town hall beautification request.
Hi everybody, Bonnie Johnson, I'm chairman of the beautification committee. I had submitted a request to the town to consider ideas that we have for this area as part of our beautification across town. In the past, you probably know, you may know that we have a perennial garden out front, which is no longer there. So we met in August to come up with other ideas and decided on a couple of new ideas. I don't know if you saw the memo in the packet, but there are two ideas for which we'd like approval to go ahead on. Are twin 3-foot tall, but they're in about a 18-inch tall pots, so they come to about 4.5 feet or so. Boxwood plants. I actually have pictures here if you're interested to see. And they're in pots that would go on either side of the entry steps. Obviously, they're alive and well. We've been keeping them. We would maintain them, and they're very hardy through the year. Wouldn't even have to be moved.
The planters would stay in place throughout the winter?
Yes. So that's part one of the idea. Part two is to purchase one or two, but I think two benches, which are weatherproof. They're made of a polystyrene wood product with steel backing, benches that would sit out, and our thought is they would sit out by the clump of birches right outside in the front. They're about 5 feet long. Each one has a back which, try to follow me here, can convert into a tabletop if someone wants to sit there and work. Or the two side by side can convert their backs into a picnic table with benches. So the idea would be to have a structure outside and secure it probably to the birch trees with a chain. They would be removed in the winter months. And would have a place for people here to go out and have lunch, work, or meet. And I did provide pictures. We can provide more information. All of this fits in well into our budget, and it would replace the monies that we've spent on the perennial garden in the past. So I seek your approval to proceed.
I think the planters are fine. I think a better spot if we were going to do benches or something might be out back here.
Oh, I go over that.
Just my thought. I mean, out there, I don't know.
I'm just intrigued by the idea of getting to eat lunch outside.
I was thinking a picnic table or something
Picnic table
outside
out here, yeah.
would probably get more use.
Yeah, I don't, that would be a question
We
for,
can discuss that. We haven't walked around into the
Yeah.
back, but I think it's certainly something, as long as you can secure it to something back there.
yeah, I'm not sure anybody else's, I don't know if Tina or Ally have had any chance to think about if they would eat it outside, I don't know.
Tina didn't say anything about sitting outside, or particularly, but she just didn't think if we did anything out front here was the best spot. Is what Tina and Ally were thinking.
Tina, our treasurer.
Tina and Ally were thinking out front wasn't the best spot.
Well, we can work with Tina, we can work with you all about the location. That's
Yeah, maybe we should get together with those of us who work here, and, suss out a good place.
I know the road crew is going to have a new challenge with the parking area being kind of reconfigured with the bollards and the walkway being, they used to be able to plow right by the front door, so there's going to be more maintenance in that area. And the only concern being, you know, if they are in place through the winter, that they're not in a place where there's going to be like mounds of snow.
I don't see them being in place in the winter. I think we move them into the garage.
The boxwood trees.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the benches.
Sorry,
Boxwood trees, they'd be pretty close up. Take a look at that.
Okay, yeah, I know they'll be kind of making a new plan anyway, so as long as there was no objection from them, our road foreman is not here tonight to.
Yeah, I didn't really hear any objections on that part. The benches, he was thinking that's where a lot of the snow is gonna go.
Right, it'd be nice to not like have a full corner that has no place to push snow.
Yeah.
Either push it that way or be able to push it by the walkway, one or the other.
Yeah, probably just have to go over with Josh and see what his plans are.
Yeah, if they didn't have benches in the way and they could plow that direction, that
Yeah, he said he was planning on not plowing as much over here and going more this way.
I guess the benches would be taken away in the winter though, so it might not matter.
So it might not be a conflict.
That part might not matter, yeah.
Right.
Maybe connect with Josh and the town office crew here and have a little discussion, and then we can come back to it.
Good. Okay to proceed. Okay to proceed. Am I getting that from?
Do you,
No, have another conversation with everybody about where we think everything will work, and then come back to the board and we can approve it once we got a spot for everything.
Okay.
put you on the agenda for the
Want to
next
do a conditional,
meeting
or
if you want?
it's not like,
It's not that big of a deal, no.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, just have a meeting with everybody. We'll get Josh up here too.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next meeting's the 8th of September.
Moving on to 7B, Town Administrator. B1 is Vermont Local Government Institute Program, Letter of Support.
Okay, so I got forwarded this opportunity by one of my friends, and I did sign myself up for it, but they wanted a letter of support, and it could either be from a peer or from my select board, and so that's what I need, if you're amenable.
Okay, I don't see a problem with it.
I would move to endorse the town administrator's inclusion in the Vermont Local Government Institute program.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 8, Transfer Station Solid Waste Management. 8A is updates. Don't have any updates, but Tina wanted, I heard, Esther wanted the name changed for the solid waste coordinator.
So when we discussed it, went with the name that we went with.
Yeah. And I think she wanted solid waste coordinator or manager. Yeah.
And I think we decided that because the job description doesn't talk about that,
Yeah.
It's not specifically a management.
not really a management position, so unless you want to rewrite the description, in which case we can certainly change the title.
It was a mismatch.
No, I don't think there's any. I was just bringing it up because I just remembered again.
Yeah.
I forgot last meeting to talk about it, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, works for me.
okay.
All right. Other than that, I have no updates.
Come.
Oh,
I have a question. Many moons ago, there was talk about doing a zero sort waste container for recyclables, and before that happened, this year there was going to be an electrical update at the transfer
Oh, that's
station.
what, I just remembered, I was gonna say that.
Is that still in the works?
Yep.
Or,
So GMP was there bringing a full three-phase up to the transfer station. Actually, they brought it from the road down to the solar field. The next thing is we have to coordinate with GMP to get the right service that we require installed at the transfer station. And that's what we were working on this year, was getting the upgrade done.
so it's still
Yep,
ongoing?
still in the works.
Good, thank you.
All right, moving on to item 9, roads and bridges, 9A's updates.
Josh isn't here with his information, but one thing to be aware of, I guess, is there's culvert replacement going on Whitnall Hollow Road coming up. Ended up being kind of short notice, so signs didn't go out in advance, but you will run into construction on Whitnall Hollow Road. The culvert replacement is going ahead of the paving, which will happen in September, it sounds like, so.
Question about that. I think, is there going to be like one-way traffic for part of the project,
It's
for through traffic?
not a road closure, but there will be delays.
Okay.
It'll be like stop and go, one lane.
Okay. And do you know if there's at any point the road will be completely closed, but we'll still have access to like Livermore Falls and out that way?
Yeah, Livermore Mills you should have access to. There'll probably be minor full closures basically to connect the culvert and get the whole thing done.
It should be short term, like,
Yeah.
they won't really say that the road is closed, but there might be a short time period when nobody can pass.
Okay.
So
Yeah. It shouldn't be too long of periods where the road's fully closed.
they're pretty much doing one lane at a time, and like Tom said, when they make
As
the,
long as I can get out one way or the other, I'm good.
that's the beauty of it, at least the road is open on both ends. So
Yeah.
it may be a long way around depending on where you're going, but nobody will be trapped.
And hey, my son-in-law will have a problem, I won't. Thank you.
You'll be a lot happier by the time it's done.
Yes.
It'll be a short inconvenience.
Yep. The only other thing, I guess, progress on the fuel tanks is ongoing. That should be, they're talking about programming the pump and
Yeah.
having all the electronics.
I believe Josh got
situated.
everything to the company now, so
Yeah.
they're gonna do everything on their
Fill out
end.
the
And
form.
then, from what I understand, each vehicle will have like a key fob, and that'll turn the pump on and register which vehicle is being fueled.
Yep, and they've been in close contact about the vehicle list
Yep.
and authorized users.
And they were asking about who wanted to be on the email so they could, or the system so they could monitor it.
So I'm on it, right?
Yeah, we
Tina's
were
on it?
thinking you and Tina and you, Taylor, if you want to be.
Sure, and I mean Josh by default, I would
Yeah,
assume
right.
too, but yeah.
Yeah, Josh was just asking me, he's like, do you want to be on it? I was like, I get enough emails. If Eileen's on it now, I think that's
I
fine.
will,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
That'll be good, because,
Yeah. I didn't know if you wanted to be on it or not, but I told him, he said, Taylor can be on it, I don't know.
probably doesn't hurt being the road commissioner to be on it.
Yeah,
I don't mind a bit.
sounds good.
I guess, yeah, the other stuff is all listed, so.
All right. So moving on to 9B, approve George and Lamont access permit.
So this is a driveway relocation for a new garage, and I think it's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah, from what Josh was saying, he didn't see any problem.
Yep. I think it's good to go.
Anyone care to approve that?
I move to approve access permit application number 2025-5 submitted by Ferdinand and Monica Lamont for new access to their parcel located on the north of Pond Street, and authorize the chair to sign the permit on behalf of the board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9C, review and adopt private road sign policy. We did this a while back, but we never really made it a policy, so.
It was I don't have it in front of me, but it was a select board vote to basically, the town would pay for the first sign for a private road, and thereafter landowners would pay for the sign. I borrowed this from Winhall and modified it to the town of Londonderry. There's a couple of things in here that I don't believe was in your motion. There's the labor, has a specific flat rate of $100 per sign installation. I don't know if that's acceptable, whether that's too high, whether that's too low, I don't know.
I don't see a problem with that.
It probably varies by location, how difficult they're gonna be,
So
so.
it could, I mean, you don't need to have that in there, you could have it, you don't have to put it.
Well, this is just for the replacement, so it's just putting
Yeah.
on the replacement sign. I think
Yeah,
that's fine.
if there's a base still installed, that's a
Yeah.
pretty easy thing.
Yeah,
So
I
it would
guess
just
it
be the
depends.
cost of the new post, maybe?
Yeah, I guess it depends on what happens to the sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first read that, for some reason, I thought it said $100 per hour.
Oh,
And so I was thinking, if it did take longer, then it'd be covered if it were by the hour. But
you could do it by hour if you want to.
you could just say hourly without putting a dollar amount on it, I guess.
Yes. Josh was just getting questions about it from people, and he's like, well, is it a policy, is it not a policy? I said, we voted on it, but
Yeah.
we never actually wrote anything up.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense to have something in place, and
Yeah.
there it is.
Care to approve it?
I move to adopt the private road sign policy.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nice.
We all got to sign that. And 9D, review and approve Edge Hill Road paving proposal.
So this kind of came about from some work that's being done on Edge Hill right now. The road has a very steep section that, with a driveway at the very base of this steep hill, it kind of bellies out the hill, and it makes it difficult to grade because the grader is so long it can't actually meet the transition. I'm not a grader operator, so I have to go along with what I understand the concept of that challenge. And what this would do is pave the steep part and about 20 feet of an apron so that the grader can finish grading the dirt part before it was going up the steep part. So, and this would be done while the pavers are working in town, I guess.
And I think some of it currently has some basically reclaimed asphalt that was put down, I don't even know how many years ago.
Yeah, there's a base that is a mixture, and this proposal requires that our road crew prepare the base. So whether or not that can stay in place and just be compacted smooth, we'd have to just address that. But the prep will be done by the town, and the paving will be done in this proposal through Hunter Excavation.
Don't see a problem with it.
I don't either.
Anyone care to make a motion?
And I think we still have plenty of paving budget. We were hoping to hold some over for next year, and this falls within
Yeah,
what we
Tina
have
said that.
left.
Here we go. You gotta sign that.
Not a motion. I move to accept the proposal from Hunter Excavating LLC to provide services relating to the paving of Edge Hill Road, estimated to cost $5,885, and 2, authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary for the hiring of the contractor to conduct the necessary work.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on to item 10, old business. 10A, Review and approve WRC project manager contract for town hall MERP improvements.
So, Anand Fidel from WRC came to the meeting last time to discuss this. And at that point, you were amenable to it, and my job was to send it off to Bob Fisher, our town attorney. He came back and had some changes. He added some clauses in there. And I sent it back to Anand to see if they were amenable to those changes, and they're good with them. So if you wish just to move forward with that, then we can go ahead and sign that. I have to somehow in the mixture of Bob's comments and sending it through email, it's completely unformatted, so I have to reformat the thing, but sounds like we're good to go.
Sounds good.
Concept is there.
Yeah,
Formatting is
formatting is
a
bad.
nightmare for people like myself.
I gave up before this meeting, so I'll work on it this week.
I think it'll be money well spent in the project.
Definitely. Having somebody else work on that with me will be very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Move that forward.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Sounds good. Anyone care to make that motion?
I move to accept the proposal from Wyndham Regional Commission to provide services relating to project management services for town hall MERP eligible renovations, estimated to cost $21,800, and secondly, to authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary for the hiring of the contractor to conduct the necessary work.
Second.
And just to clarify, that's coming out, that money's coming out of the MERP.
The MERP, yeah. So they amended the MERP grant to allow for soft costs, and that's part of that. Yeah.
And it seemed like the contract fit the dollar amount in both ways.
Yeah.
The work and the budget.
All those in favor? Aye. 10B, review and adopt dog ordinance.
So, again, we talked about this last meeting, and I did send it off to Bob, and Ally put in the new edits to that. The one thing that I did add that was not in there the last time is a clause in the beginning to make it clear that we're rescinding the old dog ordinance and adopting the new dog ordinance. I do have a outstanding call to the sheriff because they're trying to make sure that all of the dog ordinances that they're enforcing are uniform as much as they can be. He has so far not gotten back to me about any issues. So if you want to adopt this tonight, we can do that, or we could hold off. It's up to you. It's just we're trying to move this forward so we can.
Could we condition it on a
I
lack of any
think that would
requested
be
changes?
legally ambiguous because this is an ordinance,
Yeah.
so we have to go through that whole process of publishing it and
Right.
noticing it. You can always amend it after that.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine that he would have too many changes. It is the standard VLCT template, which he encourages us to use. So
Yeah. That's what they encourage us to use.
Shouldn't be.
Should be about right.
one hopes, right?
Anyone care to make a motion?
Sure. I move to adopt the ordinance regulating dogs and wolf hybrids, such ordinance to take effect after 60 days unless a petition is filed as provided for under 24 VSA 1973B.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I'll do all the things I have to do to get that going tomorrow.
That's a little bit first on the side.
What did we do with our agreement for Rest Haven Lane? That was on his. Did that go back in his court?
So he wrote, a little bit off topic, but he did write the easement, sent it back to me. I need to contact Butch. I have contact information for Butch to get the rest of it's just little
It'll be
things
the
like-
next agenda, there'll be something on there.
I
maybe.
don't even know if you guys don't need to do anything with the easement. They're gonna give the easement to the town. So I don't think it needs to go on an agenda for that.
Okay.
And you already agreed to,
It's just happening.
yeah, I don't
was
think
just
there's
curious 'cause-
anything, I'm not sure that it needs to go back before the select board, but I'll double check with
Okay.
Bob.
Sounds good.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
And 10C, discuss grease trap issue for the corner store.
So this came about, might not be able to explain this as well as somebody from the wastewater committee can. But anyone who has a commercial kitchen is required to have a grease trap of a certain size in order to connect to the village wastewater system. So
Which is not included in the
it's
initial hookup.
not
like
included in the
rest.
initial, yeah.
But the permits and everything are included, that's what I read. It's already, they pay for the permit fees and everything, they just don't pay for the grease trap.
Possibly it's, yeah.
Right, because it's about a $10,000 additional cost.
I haven't seen a cost for
I
it.
don't even know what I didn't see a cost in here.
I thought I heard that number, maybe it was just in the other meeting, but I think that's why I wasn't.
I haven't seen a cost.
I did not see a cost.
There is no cost estimate on here.
What they're, specifically, the corner store is apparently required to implement a 1,000 gallon grease trap. They feel that that's too big for their store, but that's what the state requires, so I don't know if there's any way around that. So, in a nutshell, Jason O'Connor from the Corner Market wrote a letter to the Village Wastewater Committee asking whether they thought the Economic Development Reserve Fund would be an appropriate avenue to use to help other businesses, because it's not just Corner Store, I think there's a few other businesses that have grease traps that,
In the North Village.
yeah. So that came to the Village Wastewater Committee, and they wrote, they had at their last, I think it was their last meeting, they made the following motion: the Village Wastewater Committee recommends that the Select Board work with the town administrator to identify potential funding resources to support installation of grease separators for commercial properties in the North and South Villages. So it's now before you.
I think I need to see numbers before I can
Yeah.
vote on anything.
Yeah, so is the request then for the select board to approve using the economic
I
development
think
reserve?
that's where people are going. I did read the language of the fund, and it seems to me that you could use it that way. But, that's,
But we need to know how many businesses are
Need to know
thinking
that,
about
yeah.
hooking up.
and
'cause
how
I
much
don't
they are.
I don't think there's enough money in there right now
No.
to,
Jason's the only one that I know of right now off the top of my head that with a commercial kitchen who would be hooking up with Solo. But Solo, I
There's
wasn't sure if that was
Solo.
gonna be second phase or first phase.
Yeah,
I think the
I thought
wastewater committee's
Jellies
gotta
was-
come in.
I'm surprised no one
From
else.
what I've heard, Jellies is not hooking up,
Okay,
but
I
that's
think
just
they-
what I've heard.
I think they have to go outreach to those business owners and
Yeah.
start there.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I think more work needs to be
More
done
work
here.
needs to be done. I will convey that message at their next meeting.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 11, new business. 11A is discuss mowing of Aiken's Corner. I guess Mark was not going to come tonight.
He didn't say that he was. Mark Wright, who has voluntarily mowed the Prouty land and also the little strip along the mill pond for many years. At least the strip in the North Village, he's done that for a long time. has offered to take over the mowing and maintenance of Aiken's Corner, just so that there's more consistency with the mowing and the plantings, and he just was willing to do it. So I didn't see any reason why he couldn't do that myself, but I just told him that we would talk about it at the meeting, and if there were any changes. Right now, it's currently being done by the Parks Committee employee, yeah. So we would just have to discuss with them removing that as their task and allowing Mark Wright and his supporting business to take that over.
Yeah, and initially I didn't see a problem with it either, but Liam reached out today and he was just kind of surprised about this and was wondering why he wanted to do it and if he didn't like what they were doing, or
well, I think
if maybe they could just talk it over and see if they could do a better job at it. I don't know.
I think that was a primary concern, was that there's mulch in the flower beds and around the trees and stuff, and the grass is being blown into the flower beds, and I think that he was willing to do it because he had a particular way that he'd like to see it done. So we could encourage them to discuss that, or
Yeah, I think Liam would just like to have a talk with him.
yeah. And I mean, I think
That is what should be
so.
first.
Mark's offering comes from a landscape company, which, you know, the comparison is an individual with a mower versus a crew that has mowers and trimmers and blowers and the whole 9 yards, and they jump out and, you know, do a professional job. So not trying to step on any toes in my understanding of what he's offering. I think he just had a different vision of how the flower beds would be taken care of. And there's a little more than just mowing, I guess, so he's offering to take it over so that the rest of the work could be done.
The one thing that I would be concerned about is liability, potential liability for the town.
Well, and because he does other projects, I'm curious if we have anything in place for those.
He's done projects for the town in the past.
I don't think we have anything in place for Crowley property. I think we just said if you want to mow it, go ahead.
Okay.
Right. I think the only thing we really have is a volunteer form, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, when you start getting into power equipment and mowers and sharp objects and things like that, I get concerned that things could happen, either to the property or to people.
Right.
So that, just putting it out there, that
It's a
would be my
professional
concern.
company who does it. It's
Absolutely,
not just
and I'm sure they would be
some guy
willing-
off the street.
Normally, if we were to write a contract, I would ask for a certificate of insurance from the person.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I think they would be happy to provide that because they're a business. That's a
Yeah, I'm
common
sure they have
occurrence
that,
for
yeah.
them. So I almost wish that Mark was here, but I could relay to him that we're talking about it and maybe we need more information, or get him connected with Liam, or...
Yeah, I think a good first step is have him and Liam talk.
yeah.
We can go from there.
Okay. And I have Liam's contact information, and I'll get those two connected.
Yep. Sounds great.
Probably talk to the Parks Board too. Probably talk to the Parks Board too.
Yeah, Liam will talk to the Parks Board.
Yeah.
11B, approved library request to use parking lot on September 13th.
I don't know much about why they need this, but it came up, I think they asked Tina whether they could use the parking lot on September 13th. I believe that's a Saturday.
Yeah.
And we discussed it. We didn't know if it should go before the select board, and then I asked Tom, and Tom said, yeah, probably should, so here we are. They're doing some kind of an event, and they just wanted to.
Yeah, it's Saturday. I just figured the board should approve it.
I don't see any issue with doing that.
I don't either.
Are you okay to make the motion?
Sure. I move to approve the library's request to use the town office parking lot on September 13th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And 11C, review and approve endorsement of closing Magic View Motel as a shelter.
So this is a letter and an email that came from Tom Simmons. Tom Simmons, the executive director of the of Neighborhood Connections.
We just want to read his email.
Yeah.
Easiest to explain it.
Do you have
I
it?
can read it.
Yeah.
That's right here. Where Taylor's got it.
This is from Tom Simmons, the Executive Director of Neighborhood Connections. Dear Londonderry Selectboard, I'm writing to ask you as a board or as individuals to endorse the attached letter related to Magic View Motel. As you are well aware, this facility has been utilized by the state as an overflow homeless shelter with no kitchen or laundry facilities, no public fixed transit route, and lack of nearby essential services. This has placed a huge burden on our organization. We have worked with 52 households placed in the motel, including amputees, those with dementia and other cognitive and emotional challenges, and seniors with serious medical complications. Our services have included more than 32 hours each week of direct social work and providing the residents more than 312 rides and over 1,000 meals since January alone. The state provides no services to these people and has denied requests from our organization to assist with funding. The executive directors of 3 regional agencies, the most dedicated to providing housing navigation services in our area, Southeastern Vermont Community Action, SEVCA, Springfield Supported Housing Program, and Neighborhood Connections, have all joined to formally request that the state cease using Magic View Motel as a homeless shelter if they are unwilling to provide the supports and funding needed. It is unfair to us, to the residents placed here, and to the community. Please see the attached letter that we have drafted, which will be delivered to the state officials responsible for designating appropriate facilities for use as homeless shelters. I would ask that you review advance of the winter emergency program season, so time is critical. Feel free to reach out with questions. Sincerely, Tom Simmons.
Do you want to read the letter?
Sure, I can read the letter that they put out. So this is the
Did I
memo.
read the wrong one?
No.
No, you just
Oh, that was good. There's
gives
that
everybody a chance to see
explanation.
what the letter says.
Yeah.
So, the memo, Magic View Motel Service Gap, says the Magic View Motel, located on Route 11, approximately 1.5 miles outside Londonderry, has primarily served as an overflow site for the emergency motel program. It can house up to 20 households at a time and has often been used for individuals from other communities when motels closer to their home regions are full. Many participants report being given a choice between accepting a placement at the Magic View or receiving no placement at all. Transportation to and from the Magic View is a significant barrier. Once placed there, participants have extremely limited access to food, mail, essential services, and the town center. Neighborhood Connections has stepped in to fill critical service gaps, provide food, transportation, and case management to those residing at the Magic View. Their support has included Meals on Wheels delivery, coordinated entry assessments and applications, assistance with benefits, eligibility paperwork, and documentation, i.e. IDs, vital records, etc. Let's see, transportation for medical appointments, benefits, access, court dates, and more, housing navigation and support services. In the winter of 2025, Neighborhood Connections was able to access VERAP funds to reimburse the costs associated with these services. When VERAP ended, they applied for Housing Opportunity Program funding but were not awarded, along with many other applicants due to the $8 million funding gap, $41 million requested, $33 million awarded. At a recent meeting to identify possible solutions, representatives from Springfield Supportive Housing and SEVCA expressed their own capacity limitations and challenges in maintaining any meaningful presence at the Magic View. As of this writing, 5 households are currently placed at the motel. However, the number is expected to increase heading into the fall and winter. Given the motel's isolation and the limited community connections available to program participants, service support is essential for residents to meet their basic needs. Despite our strong advocacy for long-term community-based housing solutions in Vermont, it has become clear that relying on Neighborhood Connections to continue filling this service gap is not sustainable. Doing so risks compromising their ability to carry out their core mission. We urge the state of Vermont to, 1, discontinue the use of Magic View Motel for placements, or 2, if placements continue, allocate service dollars to ensure providers have the resources to meet participants' essential needs. One way or another, the current setup is untenable. We must acknowledge and address the state's responsibility to both program participants and the communities in which they are placed. Yep, that was everything there. We have a hand up in the audience.
I'd like to say, I live across the street from the Magic View, and that's why I'm here tonight. And it's been untenable since 2021. And it doesn't mention in there that in the last 60 days, I think there have been 3 deaths. And one of the deaths occurred because the person was walking from town and was hit by a car, and his body was laying in the weeds next to the motel for 3 weeks. Yeah, nobody in this town knows that. There's been numerous, dozens of overdose. Every Friday, the 2 drug dealers that are in town, that most people here know about, they drive down one in a little red SUV and one in a little blue SUV, or now it's a new blue motorcycle. They're all illegal immigrants. They're selling drugs there 3 to 4 times a week. I've watched this thing going on for years. It's been untenable. I called the police so many times, they're now have an open investigation on me. They're stalking me on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Literally, I know Trooper Jacobs, Kelly Jacobs very well. I've spoken to Sheriff Ian Gallup probably 50 times. It's been awful living across the street from us. They dump their garbage across Route 11 onto my property and onto K&S Electric's property. There's people dying, and no one wants to talk about it. It's right there in our neighborhood. It's a bad look for the whole town. And it's going on right in our faces. And every time I post something on the Londonderry forum, everyone goes crazy and calls me like all these crazy names and send me messages from anonymous sources like threatening me and stuff. Better leave, better sell. I drive Tesla, so they all jump all over that. It's insane. Like, it's got to end. Does somebody else have to get killed? The police are there all the time serving warrants, and there are video cameras up. And Sebastian Volchek, Barbara's son, has access to those videos. I used to have access to. He took me off the link. The stuff that's going on is violent. Violent. 2 summers ago, a man beat up his wife badly, and then ran across the street into my driveway, then ran across this other side, got into another fight with another guy. That guy came across the street pleading for my help. As he was pleading for my help, his teeth flew out and hit me on my shirt in my driveway. I mean, this is like, stuff like this is going on constantly. Like, how many times has the ambulance been there in the last 3-4 years? I talked to somebody I dated a woman from HCRS, and she says they're responsible for the mental health patients that are there, and she won't go there. None of them will go there unless they have a police escort. The state police won't come anymore. It's too far for them, they said. They called me back on the landline, told me that I'm calling 911 too much. I'm taxing the system. I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't believe in guns myself, but everyone's telling me you got to get a gun to protect yourself. I've had so many of them banging on my windows, my doors, 10:30, 11:30 at night, in my barn, stealing everything, power tools, screens for their windows down at the motel, everything. Been going on for years.
I know the health officer called the state in about issues there as well. And I know the rescue squad's been there more than they probably want to.
Yeah, I'd like to just jump in. Actually, I'm Pete Cobb, president of the Londonderry Rescue Squad, and we would agree 100% with the neighborhood connections. And I'd like to have copies of those letters if possible. And we would sign on if it would help as well. This past year, from January 1st till now, on the 18th, we responded 34 times to Magic View Motel. And that doesn't include the number of times that we've been to Jalway's or the shopping centers or beside the road with these same patients that's living at the motel. So there's at least, and I've done 4 recently myself outside of the motel. So we've got at least 40 calls since the beginning of the year. We are a completely volunteer organization. Last year, we would not respond until police arrived because it was so dangerous. And there's an influx of people in and out. Some of them are more dangerous than others. You know, we've had guns, machetes, assaults, you name it. It's been there. You know, overdoses are pretty common, but there's been multiple suicides and assaults. And even recently.
And I was at a municipal officers meeting with the governor about public safety last Tuesday. And one of the main complaints was the hotel motel program in various towns. And I brought it up, and as soon as I said the name Lieutenant French and Mark Anderson from the sheriff's office, they both looked at me and said, yep, we know what you're talking about. So, yeah. I fully support it.
And so the police are at least a half hour, 45 minutes out. And, you know, we go to staging and we just wait for them to arrive. Once in a while, we'll go in if we know it's safe, but other than that.
Yeah, that's another thing I brought up at that meeting with the governor, was that we have basically 0 state police presence, and it could be an hour to 2 hours before we see anyone.
During the day, Wyndham County Sheriff's been pretty good about responding. They'll hear it and come up, but
So we filed major complaints about the care. They've dropped off patients, amputees that cannot use the bed. There's no bathroom for them, and they just drop these patients off. So I've gone through most of the state agencies over the period of the last couple of years. And I'll, at least of this, I just hand scratched a couple of names and organizations that some of them are useless, most of them are useless. You could phone and complain and hear nothing. But there's a couple of representatives that did change things up. I've talked to our representative and emails with Chris Morales around.
I know you were saying the fire departments had their own issues there at times.
Oh, we've had issues there in the past as well. I fully support the letter.
I do too.
Yep, myself included.
I think we definitely need to make a change.
oftentimes they're being dumped down here from Burlington. They're dropped off, they don't have their medications, and that's where Neighborhood Connections and Mid Valley is help get that done, but it's draining all the resources in town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been in stores when they've come in and just taken stuff and just walked out. And where it caused the problem. And
Yeah.
Brattleboro was at that public safety meeting, and they have a lot more of this. And boy, it was taxing them something fierce. Their police department, that's about all they were doing.
this piece, a lot of stuff around here is volunteer, and it just breaks you.
Yep.
It just takes a lot out of you when you gotta do the same thing.
She's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And most of these are medical issues, so we can't
Yep.
go into details, but we could throw out numbers and
Yeah.
And there's virtually no communication between the state and any of these locations that they pick, apparently, right? So,
no.
I mean, this is, the board doesn't get approached by anybody for our approval, just to be clear, you know? I mean, we can voice our disapproval, but nowhere did we say, oh yeah, you know, we're allowing this to happen.
It took me a couple months to even find a person responsible to place these patients in these hotels. And there's a deputy commissioner, Miranda Gray, who's, I got the information for you, but pretty much useless.
I think they're overwhelmed.
I think his name is George Karakakis. He's in charge of placement for these people.
Yeah, I know when the health officer brought the state in, there was definitely health violations, but it didn't change anything.
No, and you know, with the fire marshal and all, they need, was it 30 days notice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we was out there before and we made a complaint. And these rooms was piled 2-3 foot high with junk, fishes and everything else. Come to fire inspection time, everything's clean and looks pretty nice. So there was limited violations at that time.
Right.
I mean, you know me, I almost noted, we actually were part of the program the first winter of COVID, but that was enough for us, and we stopped with the program. I was actually a board member of the Springfield Supported Housing. They were the ones, prior to the last couple of years, they were, you know, doing what Neighborhood Connections is doing now. But we've actually had people coming up to our place, you know, just hanging out and what have you, and it's like, we can't have that, you know? And then a couple years ago, we actually worked with the, who was it, the U.S. Marshals, and they did a sting over there because of somebody that had been in trouble with the law and what have you. So all I know is that from the state position, and when we were participating, you didn't have a choice. It was just, here's a name, here's a voucher for 7 or 14 days, and this is what they have. You could only kick them out if they smoked in the room or something like that. You were supposed to do inspections. But other than that, that's all the state gave you, was just a voucher with a name on it. Here you go.
Was the lack of choice was like per individual, but did you had a choice to support the program or not as a business owner?
What happened is that, you know, you would get an email with a voucher and, you know, you have the name and you're like, okay. And, you know, for me, I just do a quick Google search. I mean, I wasn't doing like a full background search or anything like that, but you could see, you know, they've had issues with the courts and whatever, you're like, okay. And then other ones, it was like a last minute, you get it right away, you know, and then they're on your doorstep. So it was just you're taking a gamble for those 14 or 7 days and see how they work out, you know. But at the same time, we did kick out people within 24 hours because, you know, there was an ashtray with, you know, it's like, that is the one main rule. We live under the same roof, you know. I mean, it's like, I can't have my place go up and smoke.
Right.
But as far as, you know, names that come through or anything, at that point in time, I mean, maybe things have changed, you know, because we've been out of it for a couple of years now, so.
So the, if you're willing to share the information, I guess. So the owner of the Magic View would have a choice to participate in this program or not, or does that, would that?
Yeah, because a lot of the, as the program kept going through its changes and what have you, a lot of motels or whatever decided not to participate anymore. or their insurance wouldn't cover them because they were doing this. And there was a big roll-up about that too. It's hard enough getting insurance as it is, being an older building and everything else, but that's the first thing they ask you is if you're doing long-term people there, especially with the state.
So it seems to me, coupled with this letter, outreach to the owner, the property owner might be, from some perspective at least, to just, maybe there's an alternative for their business that maybe they don't have to do it to survive. Maybe there's something else there for them.
I mean, just my personal opinion, judging by the track record of this place, the owner doesn't seem to care, unfortunately.
Right.
I would have second that.
I think she's in Poland, actually. She's already bought a home in Poland, and she intends to move to Poland permanently.
At the end of the day, something's got to give.
Yep.
Or you're going to keep having, you're eventually going to, I can't speak on every volunteer, but eventually they're going to stop going.
Yep.
And stop putting themselves in that situation, so.
Yeah, because we had Benny's, because, we had called because one of our cars broke down, like, AAA. We're like, which one are you? Like, we're the big orange one on the hill. Oh, okay, you're not that one. Okay, we don't go there anymore.
There's a bunch of people that don't live in this town that you can pull you aside and say not that one. It's a well-known issue across the state, across towns.
In this region, it is, for sure.
So if this is step one to doing something about it, I fully support it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the letter is important, and maybe depending on the results of the letter, pleading with the landowner to change their mind about, what they need for their business to survive. I mean, it seems like they would be in the driver's seat of this whole thing, so.
Yeah, because again, I know that some of the bigger hotels in Rutland put their foot down and said, you need to pay for security, or you need to pay for these services.
Yep.
That happened a couple years ago, so I don't know if that would be a way to go around it, but.
That would certainly make the decision easier for somebody if they
start with
suddenly
the
were
letter.
faced with other additional costs to make it work.
The owner isn't going to shut down voluntarily.
No, I don't think so.
She's getting a lot of money from the state, and it's guaranteed money. And I've dealt with her too many years.
Yeah. Well, and if she becomes a remote owner, then it's going to be even more difficult.
Well,
so.
she's there now as of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw her, talked to her 2 weeks, week and a half ago.
That's my only question is, does the rescue squad want to add their own letter to this?
We will, if we,
I can talk to both fire departments.
Yeah, I mean, the more they see what's going on, I think the better your chance you're gonna have.
If all the services that they're relying on are going to basically refuse service or show a lack of support at the very least, then that's powerful.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I can talk to both representatives of both departments and see what they can relay to their guys.
Because if, it's taking up a lot of rescue squad time out there for different issues. Other people, we cover a lot of other towns too. And if we're not available to go to, anyway,
Yeah.
there's just, it's overwhelming.
Reducing services to other people.
Yeah.
and we've got members that refuse to go out there even now.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to keep building eventually.
It could affect membership and, volunteers, if that's part of the job, that's less enticing for sure, so.
Don't you think it would be really important to make sure all of the volunteers know that it takes only a speck of fentanyl, just a speck, to kill them? And that's what they're all using there. That's what they're selling there. That's what all the Narcan is for. It's for fentanyl. It's not heroin. It's all fentanyl.
I have a feeling the rescue squad knows.
And that's not true, they're using everything. We're seeing everything out there.
Yeah, and I'm sure they know all
We
of
don't go
it
in
about
without gloves on.
Okay.
And they probably have more Narcan there than we have on our ambulances.
That's reassuring, fantastic news.
Yeah, I fully support signing this letter, signing one from any department or
Yeah, we can always
rescue squad.
like I said, we can reach out to the representatives and see what they say.
I will sign all of them.
I'll sign whatever, yeah, I'll sign whatever's supposed to.
I'm not sure exactly why there was a deadline of September 1st. And he indicated that he wanted to get it in soon. I don't know if there was a reason for that, just to be aware of anybody else's.
This might be kind of a,
Maybe a renewal.
I don't even know what.
I don't know, at the public safety meeting, they're phasing out this whole motel program. I just don't know the schedule on that.
But winter will come and then they have that. That's why they're probably trying to get
Yeah,
this.
it might, not September 1st.
Oh, I
might
see,
be
in
the
advance of the winter emergency program season, so that's why. Okay.
Would, well, I don't know, that probably comes as a secondary thing, but I was thinking that, is there any value to a letter from the select board to the landowner pleading for change? I mean, whether it's effective or not, I don't know, but
I don't see a problem with that either.
it shows our position if we all,
I think they should get one yeah, they should get a letter regardless too,
Yep.
showing where we stand on it.
that there's little, if any, support for what they're doing
Yep.
townwide.
Absolutely the property owner should get one.
Yep.
Other than letters, is there anything substantive that the town can actually do?
Doesn't feel
I
like
mean, we've had the health officer in there, the cops have been there, I don't know what else the
When
town
you
is.
said
It's a
Rutland
state
did
program.
something, what did Rutland do specifically?
They, I remember reading like a newspaper article about it, that they made them, purchase security.
How do you do that as a town?
I don't know, they've got a charter too, so maybe it's a charter thing.
They also shut down a hotel up there.
Yeah.
But who is they?
Safety. and
Probably
all that.
the,
But it's the biggest
Yeah, they
thing,
have
they got
town
different ordinances.
are they a town manager?
I would assume so.
How did they
Well,
shut
like,
down?
reach out to
Shut
them
ours
and see
down
what they
for
did.
safety issues?
I think we'd have to have it, anything that we enforce has to be backed up by an ordinance of some sort.
Right, we'd have to-
and it would
definitely
be
have to do
a housing
something.
ordinance of some sort.
We just did all those things that we just enumerated in those 2 letters. None of those passed for a safety violation in any ordinance in this town.
I can reach out to
Well,
Rutland and see what
an
they did.
ordinance is more of an official document
I'm a
that,
lawyer, so I understand what an ordinance.
right, okay, so, well, I'm saying it so that I kind of understand the process myself as
Okay,
well.
so it's very simple. It's like find out which ordinance they closed that hotel in Rutland, and let's see if we have the same ordinance, and let's try to close this one down too.
We would have to adopt something similar to them, because I'm quite sure we don't have.
Yeah.
We definitely don't have anything right now. I can reach out to Rutland to see what they did.
I mean, our best,
I'm pretty sure they're a charter town, so they may have more leeway.
and our best chance as a town was the health officer, I believe.
Yeah,
And that didn't go anywhere.
I mean,
Okay, so also just-
larger towns than ours have this problem as well, so I mean, I can
not a
certainly look. I'm just,
Water tests, maybe.
Oh, I'll find out what ordinance they closed it down then. That's no problem.
I think that'd be
Very
step one is to
easy
reach out to them.
information to get, actually.
Step one's definitely reach out to them.
Yeah.
okay, so,
Also, public knowledge. All court documents are public knowledge.
so the letter that the select board wants to write, do you want to put that on the next agenda? I mean, I could maybe come up with some kind of draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, start with the draft.
If anybody else has submitted a letter by then, I can,
Would it be beneficial for other commissions, committees in the town to write that they would support this? So that the more
I don't think that's gonna hurt anything, though.
government type,
Well, the formation of an ordinance could begin with the planning commission, maybe.
we have nothing else.
Yeah, you don't do it. Adopt the plan first. Don't get distracted.
60 days.
Where's the cat?
I got a question. We won't be submitting this letter beforehand to the state, or are you, how are we moving forward with this?
I think we're,
Neighborhood Connection sounds like they want to get it in before September 1st because that's the
It's the start of
winter.
the winter.
So can you submit that and then follow up letters?
Yeah, that's what we're planning, yeah, that's what we're
Yeah.
planning on doing.
I think
So
rather
this is
than
really,
delay.
this came, Tom came to my office to see if the select board would want to sign on to it, so I put it on the agenda. But that's their letter. So if the select board wants to do something separate, which sounds like you do,
I think we would sign and support and forward on any letters we see, or, you know,
Yeah.
if that's
Submit all
the
those.
general.
I could get one from the school within a couple of weeks or so.
Yep.
So I'll talk to both departments and see what they want to do.
Is it now 3 weeks until our next meeting? Because it goes
next
to
meeting is the
September
8th.
8th.
so is that really 3 weeks?
It's 3 weeks.
1, 2, yep, 3.
Because we're skipping the,
We're skipping because
Labor
it's
Day.
Labor Day.
yeah.
Another thing would be the water test. She's a state,
That's what this is.
yeah.
You could do a special meeting before then.
Yeah, we could do a special meeting before then to authorize a letter if we can get one written up.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to wait 3 weeks.
Let me get this one here.
I mean, that's no problem, that's a 5-minute special meeting.
Yeah, I can make myself available for that, so.
But
Should be able to.
I think I'd ask Tom too, if he wants, I think it would look better to have the 3 signatures from the board
Okay. No, I
than
just
just mine.
assumed,
I think that makes a bigger statement.
I can change that so you guys can sign have all 3 of you sign it. I
Yeah.
just,
If we have a special meeting, you can probably get all, you might be able to get all 5.
Yeah, but at least for now, we can give him the 3 of us.
The 3, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that shows bigger support by the
yeah,
town than just
can
having.
you guys stick around after the meeting? I can change that real fast.
Yeah, I can stick
Yep,
around.
I can stick around.
So, back to special meetings.
Just if we had one written, if we had
Right, if
something
we had
written
one
up in
written.
time, we could do a special meeting.
Why don't I work on that first and get back to you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll be waiting for other letters too. I mean,
Yeah, I can come in and try to help you on Friday, but I'm gone the rest of the week.
All right. Let me get back to.
We just have one last item, right? We just have the last item, right? It's just-
Yeah, it's just this. Do we have a motion?
So,
Probably have a motion to do that. I'll make it. So we ready for the motion here?
I do believe so.
Yeah.
so just leave off the authorized chair part. Did I say that on there?
No, I don't see it.
Oh, I have to do that.
2, authorize the chair to sign the
Yeah,
letter on
so
behalf
just
of
leave
the board.
that off.
All right, let's cross that out. All right, I move to 1, endorse the letter asking the state to either discontinue use of the Magic View Motel for placements in its emergency motel program or allocate funding to providers for needed services.
Do we have a second?
second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. And whenever you have yours, I'm happy to sign it.
And that is the state allocating funding to providers, correct? Just for clarity.
I'll leave this with you, Tom. If you want. Whatever.
Just that one last one, right?
Yep.
I move to adjourn.
So, just one last, what about, who will you sending it to the state?
That is a good
That's gonna be a
question.
good question. We'll have to get a hold of Chris Moore, I think, about that one, or Kelly might be able to help us out there.
We're endorsing the letter that's going,
Right now, we're just endorsing
The letter from.
So the letter's being sent
Neighborhood
from
Connections.
Neighborhood Connections.
And I
So
don't
they
think it actually said
He
who
didn't say who he was sending it to.
they're exactly sending it
That
to.
was
but-
actually something I was gonna reach back out
Because
to
I
them about.
did leave a few names around that.
Okay.
I know
I think I spelled everybody's name correctly.
And some of them I did.
Print. Oops.
Yeah, for our own letter, we'll have to reach out to Chris and maybe Kelly can get us some more information as well.
Yeah, Chris may be on it. I've been dealing with Chris.
Chris Murray,
Yeah.
he was really helpful.
Why are you doing
But the one I had in red was the one that really made the difference at the end, at the bottom. She's a representative, but she's chairman of
Okay,
Yep. Perfect.
can always include them on it too.
Yep.
Oh,
Sounds great.
I'm gonna have to.
Thank you for that.
the, yeah, I can't show you those emails because of the,
Right.
but she was really upset and everybody listened to her. The Children and Family Department, a lot.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
It's a good person to contact for us. So.
I think I have to be hardwired because I'm on the public
Yeah.
Wi-Fi in order to print, so I'll just have to do that before.
We'll be walking in that direction. I mean,
Don't leave without,
No, I think we can take the motion.
Move to adjourn.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.